Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening.
Hold one, Andre.
You're not good at this. Get out. Let me tell you a personal story about Vince McMahon.
You just made the list.
Oh my God!
Sorry, no speak English.
Dummy. Goodbye and good night. Hold two, on bar.
It's still real to me, damn it!
Dummy.
This is the worst town I've ever been in.
Hold three, Lamas covers, three-handle family Gradunzel.
Mamma mia!
And now, Unchained.media presents the B Plus Podcast with your host, GregUnchained.
It's me, Austin! It was me all along, Austin!
Number 4, armbar.
I will never retire!
I still got 200 more! I got 200 more holes to list!
All right, fellow B Plus players, welcome to the B Plus Podcast. I'm your host, GregUnchained. Today is Thursday. You know what that means. It's bonus episode time. We don't always come at you on Thursday, but when we do, it's for a bonus episode. And today, we're talking PWA Call to Arms. We're going to preview the entire card as it stands today. We're recording this late Wednesday night, so you're hearing the most up-to-date information unless something has come out, overnight, which I doubt it will. I'm joined, of course, as ever, when I talk PWA, by BigBoy Mikey. How are you, Big Boy?
I'm pretty wild at the moment, mate. Pretty wild. Yeah, mate.
Pretty wild. That's
Pretty
an interesting feeling.
Mate, just
What's got you feeling wild?
just overexcited about Robbie's performances in New Japan at the moment as we head into a PWA podcast.
Oh, right, yeah.
It's just...
Yeah, well, look, as we're recording this, it's Wednesday night, and the Super Juniors are still going on, the Super Junior Tag League. So let's just touch on it quickly. Robbie Eagles is 2-0 in New Japan proper.
Right, for anyone who hasn't listened to the King Sportscast podcast from last night and heard us pop in, and I keep saying that I felt like a 5-year-old cheering on Sting defeating Vader last night, but I popped hard. That's the shit that gets me into wrestling so much. I'm just super happy for Robbie. What a fantastic debut. I still picture myself, and I'm just a fan. I can't imagine what it's like for him.
Yeah, well, look, when we had Robbie on the Aussie Grapps show, and I've spoken to him, and he said that 2018 was surreal.
Yeah.
And it didn't look like it was going to get any less surreal. And obviously he knew what was in the pipeline. So this is probably part of what he was talking about. But it's surreal for me as a fan, as a person who, like I was telling you before we went on air, it's just so surreal for me because New Japan Pro Wrestling is my favorite in-ring product in the world, probably. And seeing him pop up there, like watching Peyton and Billy on WWE is surreal in a different way. But that's Peyton and Billy. I never talked to them at shows or anything like that. Right. Robbie Eagles, every show he's been on that I've been at, I've talked to him. This is a guy that if he sees me come up, approach the merch desk, he's going to be like, "Hey, Greg, how you doing?" We've talked that much, and he's been on the show, of course, as well. So it's just a whole new level of surreal as a fan watching him on New Japan Pro Wrestling.
He's just one of those Aussie guys. I'm a little bit biased towards the New South Wales guys, but I just don't. And I love some of the Melbourne guys. I haven't watched as much MCW, RCW, EPW as much as I would like to. But I'm very PWA biased, hence why I'm here recording this podcast tonight.
You're the PWA guy.
I'm the
it's
PWA
perfectly
guy.
Fine.
But there are a couple of talents, like you said, with like Robbie. For me, is someone like a Jonah, a Shazza, other guys like that may end up one day either in New Japan or WWE or whatever. Just seeing that, like you said, it's surreal. 2 weeks ago,
I don't think Shaz is going to end up in New Japan. I don't think they have a women's division.
But she could very well end up in NXT within the next 12 months. You know, she should have been in Mae Young Classic.
She's done a few. She's done a few NXT. It's
She
weird.
has.
It's weird whenever I see Shazza pop up on NXT. I enjoy
Yeah.
that a lot.
She should
For some reason, it's not the same. Like seeing them pop up on Shimmer
No.
or PWG or any of those. It's not the same.
No, I know, but she should have been in Mae Young. She should have been in Mae Young 2. She definitely better be in Mae Young 3 if they're doing. But
Yeah.
like it's just Robbie's just one of those guys. It's just like you said, it's surreal. Like, he's blowing up already. Like all over the social medias, people that didn't know who he was 24 hours ago now, like, oh my god, this new guy in the Bullet Club. Just it's just insane.
And I've heard a lot of people asking about his theme song too, and his theme song is a different theme song, and I'm like, you're asking the wrong question. You should be asking what his Australian theme song is.
Right, because unfortunately, as much as
Although the new theme does sound badass too.
it does sound badass, and no matter the only thing is he can't use that song in Japan. What's his current song? My apologies.
In the Afterglow.
Afterglow. He can't do that.
Yeah.
No, like
In Heart's. It's in Heart's Wake, right?
Yeah, in Heart's Way from Afterglow. He can't do that because that is his, kayfabe story-wise. That's sort of like his face entrance. Like you can't sing.
Okay, yeah.
Can't sing along to that at the entrance, and like he's got to be a heel within Bullet Club. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But you know what?
But yeah, this is relevant, people. It's PWA. Robbie Eagles, Bonza himself said it on the Aussie Grapps show. You could consider him the ace of PWA. This is relevant. Don't at me.
And it is relevant.
What we really want to talk about.
I'm going to say it is relevant because, like we said, we're here to talk about this week's Colosseum show. And unfortunately, despite Robbie working me 2 weeks ago, oh yeah, I'll see you on the 20th. No, I won't. Bastard. I'll see you on New Japan World. Fuck.
Yeah, he was very coy on the podcast when I said, "Do you have anything else planned?"
Yeah, but
because I directly asked him, I'm like, "Are you sure you don't have anything else planned for that day?" And he's like, "There's a PWA show. What else would I have planned?" He's very coy, very coy. But we're here to talk about PWA Colosseum. It takes place on Saturday, the 20th of October at Max Watts in Sydney, as it always does. What a great venue! This is going to be fantastic. Now, Mikey, I'm going to ask you the question: what is Colosseum?
I don't have the answer for you, mate. I don't know. I'm just as excited as everyone else is to find out what Colosseum is like. Is it going to be a bit of a special?
It's been vague. It's been
very
vague.
vague, but the tournament itself. So Colosseum is going to be this tournament, which, from what we believe, is going to be spread out over 3 shows. From what I'm guessing.
Well, there's been no indication of how many shows. So originally, a lot of people thought it was a single night tournament, which is hard to do, but it can be done. And so I thought that was what was going on, and a lot of people I spoke to thought that as well. But then, of course, I had Bonza on the Aussie Grapps interview show. People can go back and have a listen to that. It was last week. I'll drop a link in the show notes, of course, for people to check that one out. But Bonza said no, it was never intended to be a single night show. They are hoping, they've got plans. This is going to become a yearly tournament, the Colosseum, and they've got plans for it to be over one weekend next year.
Ooh, okay.
That's the hope, is for it to be back-to-back nights next year.
Ooh.
But for this year, it's going to be across multiple shows. But it was never said whether that's 2 shows, 3 shows, because you could conceivably have semis and finals in one. I'm not sure how it's going to work.
Yeah, exactly.
But what we do know is 8 competitors enter, 1 person leaves, the victor of the Colosseum. And the prize, Bonza said, will be revealed as we approach the show. It hasn't been revealed yet, but he said it was an awesome prize. So we've got to keep our eye out for the prize, because apparently it's going to be awesome. But that's really all we know. 8 people, 1 tournament, awesome prize.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Look, like we'll touch on the tournament participants towards the end, or do you want to?
Well, let's go through the participants now, and then we'll go through the matchups at the end. We'll break down the card as we get through. So the competitors in order of announcement: were Mick Moretti. And we should just touch on the announcement videos too. If you haven't watched the announcement videos, you got to go back and watch them. They're available on the Facebook. They're also available on the Twitter. And they're really well done, these videos. They start with like a computer voice, kind of like the anonymous videos kind of thing. It starts with like a computerized voice just saying, "You have been noticed," and then saying the name of the person. And then you get a bunch of highlight clips of their work.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just thought it was awesome because it ties together the, hashtag "You're Gonna Notice Us," and it ties that together with the hashtag "Now We Conquer," because they've all been noticed, and now they've got to try to conquer the Colosseum. I think it's just thematically, and I'm all about themes in wrestling. I'm a comic book guy, so thematically, it tickles all my bones.
Yeah,
I love it.
I love the balance of it. Like as you'll go along and you'll announce all the different people. I like the balance of it being four strong PWA guys and four somewhat outsiders coming in for the show. So a couple of people who aren't strangers to PWA, but they're outsiders now.
So they're not necessarily current PWA regulars.
Yeah, full timers. Yeah. So, so like you said, Mick Moretti announced as number one.
Mick Moretti was the first one, and given the style of the video, it was very relevant. So, Mick Moretti, you have been noticed, absolutely. Followed that up with Damian Slater.
Yep.
Which was amazing. So they've also, we should mention, they've marketed this as a tournament for pure grapplers.
Right, exactly right. And Damian Slater announced as number 2. Fantastic addition to the tournament. Previously very heavily involved in PWA back in its earlier years. I'm pretty sure he's an ex-PWA champion. Has a lot of history with a lot of these guys like Moretti, Bonza, Robbie, etc. Be exciting to see him in. Does he bring some of his TMDK mates over to Sydney?
Yeah, well, the TMDK boys are gearing up for a war. They are in recruiting season. Talk about recruiting season. Everyone's recruiting at the moment. Yeah. It's not just happening in Japan. It's happening right here on our shores. TMDK are looking to bring new members in.
Exactly.
Could something to that effect happen at PWA?
All right. Who was Grappler 3 to enter the Colosseum, mate?
Grappler 3 to enter the Colosseum was none other than Paris De Silva, Spartan Spirit himself.
Oh, mate, the meme highlighter himself from the last PWA show.
The GIF Goldmine.
GIF Goldmine. Will Ospreay created another little GIF that everyone needed to the little GIF moment. No, Paris is fantastic. I can't.
I said when he was announced on the Aussie Grapps show, I said in the news section there, because people can stay up to date with all this stuff if you subscribe and listen to Aussie Grapps. Now, I did mention it then that he's kind of considered a GIF goldmine at the moment after that Shooting Star DDT, but he is so much more, and he's got to go into this tournament looking to prove that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, with some of the names in here, Damian Slater, we'll get to it, Jack Bonza, AJ Estrella, etc. With some of the names in here, he's got something to prove, that he's not just a one-move wonder. He's not just a GIF goldmine. He's not just a social media superstar. He is a pure grappler. He is a wrestler's wrestler.
Absolutely. Can't wait to see him. Can't wait to see him fly and grapple his way into the tournament on Saturday.
And then we had Unsocial Jordan.
Yeah.
I may be going out of order here. Actually, no, because AJ Istria, I think, was next. So AJ Istria.
Yeah, look, this is a guy I personally don't know a lot about. I've seen a lot of his highlight reels. I've seen his work from last month, Iron Fist. That's his work. But I don't know a lot about him. I'm very excited to see him this weekend.
I can tell you this. Your mind is going to be blown. You are going to fall in love with AJ Istria. AJ Istria works a real MMA style.
Yeah.
Lots of stiff strikes, lots of chain wrestling and brutal looking holds. And he just picks apart his opponent.
Right. And he's had a history in 0-1, hasn't he?
I think he's wrestled in Noah.
Okay.
As Ashley Istria.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm not sure if he's done Zero One, but I do know he's done Noah as Ashley Istria, so you can always check that out as well.
I do want to.
But this is a guy who just talking about his local story here. He started in Queensland, and up in Queensland, they're not necessarily renowned for their wrestling. It's improving a lot, but there's no one school. Like, whereas in Sydney, you can say go to the PWA school or go to the Nui Pro school, right?
Right.
Or even there are other schools as well that do quite good work. The Australian Pro Wrestling Gym have pumped out some wrestlers that I'm a big fan of, and I trained there as well, so I'm a little biased in that.
Yeah.
But there are other schools as well. In Adelaide, the Wrestle Rampage Dojo has a very big reputation, high prestige, as does the Riot City Academy. Melbourne City Wrestling have only just opened their academy, but also in Melbourne, you've got Carlo Cannon's school, has quite a bit of prestige. But Queensland doesn't really have a school, or EPW, of course, how can I forget that? Davis Storm and now Damian Slater and the boys over at EPW, they pump out some fantastic talent.
Yeah.
They've got a very prestigious school. Queensland, you can't think of one. There isn't one.
No, not at all.
And that's not a shot at anyone who's up there. It's just to say that there's no, school that's really garnered prestige as of yet. And so AJ Istria coming up in that environment, what he did was he actually would travel regularly to Adelaide to train with what he considered the best school in the country. He went to the Wrestle Rampage Dojo, trained with Hartley and the boys and to up his game because he wanted to be the best. He eventually moved here, so now he's one of our locals down here at Wrestle Rampage.
Oh.
And as you mentioned, Iron Fist. And yeah, like that's a guy who's dedicated to the craft.
Yeah.
He trains like an absolute madman. He's fit as hell, and he's going to blow some minds at this PWA show.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to...
Yeah. And then we move on to... The next two were announced back-to-back. 5 and 6. I'll let you take these ones. Unsocial Jordan and Kyle Fletcher.
All right, where do we start? Let's start with Unsocial Jordan. As soon as I saw his name announced, like I heard rumor that Kyle was going to be in this. I hadn't seen anything official. But as soon as I saw Unsocial Jordan's name, I was like, it's either Kyle or Snapchat being announced next. And I thought, okay, this is going to be very interesting. Unsocial Jordan, he cops a lot of unwarranted heat from some fans. He gets the unfortunate Mr. Shazza shit a lot. I don't think it's warranted. I find his work enjoyable, and I like him. He's a legend of a bloke. I shouldn't say that. I'm killing kayfabe here. He's a dickhead of a bloke. All these tag team partners have left him. Snapchat.
Yeah, don't kill the kayfabe. Give us the story.
Yeah.
Give us the story. We've already killed the kayfabe talking about how nice Robbie is.
Exactly.
Stick to...
No. Jordan's a dickhead. Everyone's left him, or he's alienated everyone. He's lost Snapchat. He lost Instagram. Hint for the next person. He lost Facebook. Yeah, he's a little loner these days, but it'll be very interesting to take on when he takes on Kyle fucking Fletcher. Now, on a technicality, this is Kyle Fletcher's debut in PWA. If you want to play the Sami Zayn El Generico story, this is Kyle Fletcher's technical debut in PWA. Nah, we're going to blow kayfabe out of the water. Yes, he was. He was Instagram.
I think this is part of the story.
Yes, he was Instagram. One former part of SMS, former tag champs with Unsocial Jordan when he was known as Blue Oni. I think that was his name for a while there, or Hipster Kaiju or something. I don't know. But yes, they were tag team partners for a while. So this is going to be very interesting. Kyle is one of those guys that, we talk about, guys like Robbie and guys like Shazza and Jonah killing it around the world. Kyle is, him and Mark Davis are both just blowing up the UK scene over there.
Yeah, they're considered by some to be the best tag team in independent wrestling today.
Progress, Rev Pro, every other UK promotion, they're just dominating it.
They're the current Progress Tag World Champions. They won it at Wembley, of all places.
Exactly. So, this is going to be spoiler alert, this is one of the matchups. We'll give it away now. This is one of the matchups. It's going to be fucking awesome to see.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Hey, Greg, curious question for you, man. Have you been shopping recently?
I have not.
Mate, well, I've got some good news for you. I know you're not a big fan of crowds, as most of us here at the B Plus aren't. Have you heard of Threadbox?
I have heard of Threadbox.
Man, then you would know how good they actually are. Man, I just received my first crate, and holy moly, I'm amazed. Guys, if you're listening, go check out threadbox.com.au, and they have everything from hats to socks to shirts to pants. It's fantastic. With email to a personalized stylist and customizable crates, it's honestly one of the best things I've had. I don't know about you, Greg, but I really enjoy it.
I got a crate the other day, and they gave me new jeans, a couple of new shirts, and the cool thing is, one of the shirts I tried it on, and it was a little bit long for me, and I thought this accentuates how short I am in person, and so I sent them an email, and I was just like, hey. This shirt, I feel like it makes me look really short because I'm kind of short. And they were like, send it back. We'll give you something else next month, like an extra thing. So I'm going to send that shirt back. And then next month, they're going to send me out something else. And I said to them, I've got lots of shirts. And they were like, well, we'll send you some accessories. And that's how Threadbox do it. It's kind of fantastic.
See, how good's that? And with our special code, the B Plus 15 at checkout, actually saves all our fans 15% at checkout on their first box. How cool is that?
Yeah, so head to threadbox.com.au today and use the code the B Plus 15 to get your first box as soon as you can. So then number 7 came and through some people, but not people who are aware of PWA and its intricacies. Kellyanne is in the tournament. So people thinking, oh, it's a male-only tournament. No, people, They're just wrestlers here. They're just wrestlers.
Yeah. Look, when I saw her name announced, I thought that number 8 was going to be someone different, but it did end up being, which is fine because number 8 is just as good. Kellyanne's fantastic. She's a big part of what Dakota Kai's past in, or Evie's past in MCW. Kellyanne's just one of the best female wrestlers in this country. You know, tied in with the rest of our PWA girls, I would think she's, along with Indy Hartwell and a couple of others, maybe like, I was about to say Rhea Ripley, but she's already dominating the world right now. Kellyanne should be on that stage already. She's that good.
Well, Kellyanne's not long for Australia. She's leaving. She has announced that she's not long for Australia at all.
Well, it won't be long until she's in either NXT UK or NXT US doing things like Dakota Kai and Rhea doing, because she's on another level. So, I can't wait to see her this Saturday. This is the first time I've watched her live. I've watched her through clips on YouTube and the different Vimeo channels, but I can't wait to see her. And then that leaves us with number 8. Number
8. The man himself, the real man, the leader of the Red Nation. My guest on last week's Aussie Grapps interview, which you should go back and listen to. Jack J. Bonza.
Right. Let's stay kayfabe. Look, another dickhead enters. No. See, like I said before, I thought when I saw number 7 being Kellyanne, I thought number 8 was going to be Madison. And I thought Madison was going to be in this tournament. I think she should have had a spot in this tournament, in my opinion. But Kellyanne is a perfect female entry to the tournament. If they're going to add one, that's fine. But Bonza coming into it, Bonza's male version of Madison Eagles anyway. He's okay. What can you say about Bonza? He is in this 8. He's probably the best grappler. This is a grappler tournament, and he's the man at grappling. So.
Absolutely. He's a great addition to the tournament, and I'm really looking forward to it. I can't attend the show. I have to wait for the show to pop up on PWA Play. But those are the 8 entrants. Those are the 8 entrants for the Colosseum itself. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to run down a quick rundown of the card. There are a couple of other matches announced, and we'll go through the opening round matchups for the Colosseum. We'll pop in a little bit of speculation, and then we're going to close out the show with, I put out the call to the 8 competitors who entered the Colosseum. And and asked them if they had anything they wanted to say leading into the weekend. Now, not everyone, I mean, it's social media, not everyone was able to get back in time. I had a few responses, and so we're going to play those at the end of the show as well. But for now, let's take a look at the card, starting off with an over-the-top battle royal, and you never know who's going to pop up, is what they say.
PWA have only just literally announced that tonight. There's no indication of how many people, what it's for, who's going to be in it. Just a battle royal, and like they said, the tag that they've added in is you never know who's going to show up. So I will add a couple of little things to this. PWA battle royals are always fun. They're always a good time. But here, so on the same night in Sydney or the surrounds of Sydney, there is an IWA show and a Wrestling Go show. That eliminates about 30 different Aussie talents that it might be at those two different shows. We'll talk about the other two matches in a minute. The guys that I know 100% won't be there due to being in an international spot is either Robbie Eagles. Obviously, he'll be still part of the tag league. You won't have Shazza or Jesse Troy, as they are both over in the US doing work with Shimmer. Charlie Evans, who
a lot of people in other
Charlie
places.
Evans, who has been down here with Kyle Fletcher. She's now gone as well. She's gone with the girls to Shimmer on her way back to the UK. So she won't be here for it. Jonah Rock and Jackson Kelly. Not that Jackson Kelly's a PWA talent, but I'll rule these two people out anyway. They're wrestling Saturday night for the IWA title. There are people.
The whole you never know who's going to pop up, though, makes me think that Jackson Kelly could potentially. I would love to see Jackson Kelly make his.
Could do it earlier in the night, and he could get in an Uber and get across town. Who knows? But there are some people that haven't been announced for this show yet. Haven't seen Caveman Ugg been announced. He could be working in Wrestling Go.
Right. Wrestling Go Wrestling Go are in town as well. So Wrestling Go running a show on the same night means that he may be at Wrestling Go. But you would think, being the PWA champion, if PWA have called on him, I'm sure he will be there.
Matty Warburg hasn't got a gig yet. Who else hasn't got? Conco hasn't got a gig. Luciano hasn't got a gig yet. Kai Drake.
Right. So there are still quite a few names that could pop up in the over the top battle rock, because they haven't said how many men it could be. It could be a 10 person, and in which case they could quite easily fill it. Then we have.
But also with guys like AJ coming and Damian Slater and that coming, there could be other guys coming with them. Like I said, who knows if there's a couple of Team Deacon guys?
Never know. Yeah, we're getting more and more interstate talents working interstate shows. It's fantastic. Then we have Marcus Cool. Speaking of talents from elsewhere, Marcus Cool, hot from his debut in Melbourne City Wrestling, where they did an amazing spot with a red card. You got to watch it when it comes out on Vimeo. But Marcus Cool from SPW, he is the hooligan. He's working a soccer hooligan gimmick, and he's here to have a fatal four-way with Madison, Eagles, Michael Spencer, and the returning Snapchat.
Yeah. Look forward to the match. It's very interesting. Interesting talents in the match. Very different.
Yeah. Who you got for this one? Who do you think comes out on top?
I'm going to go with Snapchat. Just in his return to the show, I think he's going to go on a bit of a singles run. Just before I know him and Carter Deems, who also could appear in the Battle Royal, have been signed to New Japan Dojo. I don't know how long they've got left in Australia, but I think maybe they give Snapchat a couple of wins before he goes, or maybe one big win.
Yeah, so I'm not sure how long he's around
but
for.
It's an interesting matchup.
I'd go with Madison Eagles on this one, personally. I think, coming off the back of her trip over to Chikara, the big win that she had over Mike Quackenbush, I think it makes sense to carry her momentum forward. Then we move on to another multi-man match. We've got Jude the Dude London versus Matt Rogers versus Matt Diamond. So Matt Rogers, who's also working across town IWA, so we could probably expect this to open the show.
I expect that. Seems as he's the IWA champion, so I'm guessing he'll be over there, but you never know. This will be solid.
pulling. There might be. That's the other thing. There might be some guys pulling
Oh,
double
absolutely.
duty.
I've seen it done before. It's they're not that far apart. I'm not too sure where IWA is. It's at St. John's Park. So St. John's Park to Moore Park. It's not that far.
And wrestling goes at Mariong, so that's doable
It's all
as well.
a half an hour, 45-minute to an hour Uber ride either way. But this should be fun. 2 high flyers with one very big man.
With the powerhouse, yeah. I'm going to go with one of the high flyers. I'm going to pick Matt Diamond.
I'm going to go with Matt Rogers, pitting both. Matt Rogers is. I don't know. A lot of people find him very unsure about Rogers, but I really like him. I love his stuff he's doing in Newey Pro as a face, and then when he's in PWA being a bit of a heel, I like it as well. But yeah, look, I'm excited for this card. Let's actually talk about the matchups for the tournament. Yeah, Marlon.
Let's talk about the tournament matches. We'll give our predictions, and then we'll head into the promos. So we've got Damian Slater versus Mick Moretti.
Yeah,
going to be a fantastic matchup. The question here is, does Damian Slater come back for the next show? Like, you got to weigh those questions into it, you know. And Mick Moretti obviously being the faithful and being the PWA homegrown, homegrown-ish. He's had other things before PWA, but he's a PWA staple. And I personally, I think I'm going to go with Mick Moretti on this one, just because what I mentioned with the theme, with the whole you've been noticed and conquering the Colosseum. I think Mick Moretti stays in this for a while.
Yeah, I think I'm going with Mick Moretti. I'm really hoping the PWA listen to this and maybe it's already in their mind, but I want Mick Moretti and a certain person in the nenext round to go one-on-one. It's needed.
You want them in the next round? You don't want them in the final?
Potential for the final. But I definitely just want to see this one-on-one. It needs to be a story told. I
think Moretti and Bonza would be great as the final. I think that the crowd would be so hot for that, because even just when they come out for their tag matches and they do the boo yay stuff, like it's then we get Kellyanne versus Paris De Silva. Who you got in this one?
Depending on how long Kellyanne's got left in the country, do you know how long she's got left?
I do not know. I think towards the end of the year. I'm not 100% sure. I'm hoping to chat with her, so I'm gonna have to shoot her a message.
Because I'm gonna say one outsider stays in the tournament, but I'm gonna stick with Paris on this one. I think Paris wins this one.
Really? Okay. I'm gonna go with Kellyanne here. I think that Kellyanne's the outsider that sticks around for the next show.
Interesting. We didn't talk about the actual the actual match. Like, that's going to be a very fucking interesting matchup. This is obviously a first-time matchup. Mick and Damien are definitely not a first-time matchup. They've wrestled a million times. But Paris and Kellyanne will be a first-time matchup, I believe. And it'll be very interesting. You got a really awesome wrestler in Kellyanne and a high flyer, but also a really awesome grappler in Paris. So it's going to be really interesting styles. I'm really interested to see it.
And then we got Jack Bonza versus AJ Istria. This one's my pick to steal the show, if not the tournament. This is going to be a fantastic match. And I'm going to go with Bonza to win it just because he's, a hometown boy. I would really love to see AJ Istria pick up the win and carry on in the tournament and act as that spoiler. But I can't see Bonza being eliminated first round.
See, I said there's going to be one.
It's a tough one.
One outsider staying in. And I was going to say it's going to be AJ Istria, but even though I do want Bonza Moretti, I think maybe AJ does win this, and maybe Bonza, maybe we get AJ Mick in the next round, and maybe Bonza accidentally costs Mick. I don't know, but I'm going to go with AJ with the upset. I think AJ, as he's the one that is not touted to leave the country anytime soon. He's still technically available. Yeah,
that we know of. But you think that Bonza and Moretti, you're still going with the Bonza and Moretti are going to implode and break up storyline because Bonza, spoiler, Bonza. Says
I know it's not happening. But I still want the teasers there because I want.
All right, let me give you this. AJ Istria wins with help. he joins TMDK here.
Ooh.
Out of left field, just way out of left field. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling AJ Istria for TMDK. I feel like it's probably going to happen at a Wrestle Rampage show. I don't think it's going to happen on a PWA show. Sorry, PWA. I think that AJ Istria joining TMDK, that's something that happens in Adelaide. But
Jonah's in town. Never
just
know.
Throwing it out there. Throwing it again. Yeah, exactly. Jonah's in town. Obviously, Damian Slater's there. I think it's something we could see. But I want to see it here. I want to see it in December here at our show. Just selfishly. Then we have Unsocial Jordan versus Kyle Fletcher. With Kyle Fletcher obviously going back to the UK, you got to think that Unsocial Jordan picks up the win.
I don't know how he picks this. Maybe someone like a Snapchat gets involved or something. That I don't know. Like, I don't know how they're going to tell the story because Kyle should be able to. No offense, Unsocial Jordan. I love you, buddy. But Kyle Fletcher should be able to beat you in about a minute.
Yeah, well, now that he's not Instagram and he is now the Aussie Arrow, and he's garnered quite a bit of experience and success. But Unsocial Jordan has some things to say about it. So he's going to have some tricks up his sleeve, I'm sure. Snapchat maybe gets involved. I mean, look, everyone but Facebook. All of the social media squad, bar Facebook, are on this one. Could Facebook make a return?
I'd be very happy to see Facebook make a return. Even just to maybe cost him, just to maybe cost her.
I don't know if she's cleared to return. I have no idea.
I don't know how far away she is from being cleared, but I'd love to see that blue mask out and costing Kyle and maybe helping Jordan, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just thinking, just throwing things at the wall because the social media squad are all bar Facebook. The social media squad are all here, so you gotta hope something will happen. But that's the card. That's everything that there is to look at for PWA Colosseum. Now, before we go, I'm gonna play a couple of promos that the guys have sent through. And PWA Colosseum, it happens at Max Watts, October 20th. That's this Saturday. Tickets are available now, so you can pre-order your tickets, or you can head down to the show at the door, as we said. Anything else you want to cover before we go, Mikey?
Yeah, just good luck to the other PWA talents that are wrestling around the world this weekend. Obviously, Robbie's already on fire. Good luck to the Shimmer girls in Shazza and Jess and Charlie wrestling for Shimmer over the weekend. And I will be at the PWA show because I don't leave Sydney. No, I'm joking. No.
Right, and so we'll do a recap show probably next Tuesday or so. People can tune in to hear what went down, and
I will be in my B plus shirt about my PWA show. I will be in my B plus shirt. So if you do see a guy with a black and orange B plus shirt, come say hi. I would like to get your feedback on the show, and I can add some of your feedback to the review. So.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're a fan, come up and say hi to Mikey. And, of course, Mikey will probably be sending out tweets if the reception in Max Watts allows it as well. So you can follow Mikey at
BigBoy_EST86 on Twitter.
And I am at GregUnchained on Twitter, at the GregUnchained on Instagram. We collectively are the B Plus Wrestle on Twitter because wrestling wouldn't fit the B Plus Wrestling everywhere else. Like, share, subscribe, and follow us for all your Aussie Grapps news as well as coverage of the wider wrestling world. You want to hear us talk about New Japan with Robbie Talk, lots of Robbie Talk. We talk about New Japan at length. We also talk about WWE, Impact, everything. If it's got Grapps, we talk about it at the B Plus. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, leave us a 5-star review on iTunes if you feel so inclined. And thank you so much for listening. Don't skip yet. Don't skip. We got promos.
Oh my goodness gracious. My name is Unsocial Jordan, and this Saturday I enter the Colosseum in the first step to recovering PWA to its respectful roots. In the first round, I have Kyle Fletcher, or Referee Kyle, as you Vlog Squad originals may remember. Because that's who he is to me, and that's who he always will be to me. Kyle Fletcher, no matter what you do or where you go, you will always just be my young boy. So this first round match may as well be as good as one. Okay, bye.
Hey guys, this is Spartan Spirit, Paris the Silver speaking. Here to remind you that this Saturday, on October the 20th, PWA takes place at Max Watts with its Colosseum tournament, where I am one of the 8 competitors. Round 1, I take on Melbourne's Kellyanne, and we will truly find out who will conquer.
This is Punch Drunk AG Istria down here in Adelaide, South Australia, putting together my final preparations for PWA's big tournament at Max Watts in Sydney this weekend, the Colosseum. 8 warriors enter, and only 1 will exit, the victor. Now, this is exactly the type of competition that motivates me to be the best grappler in Australia. 7 other grapplers will attempt to stop me, but in this game of kill or be killed, in this game of submission wrestling, I can assure you, absolutely no one can stop me, and that includes my round 1 opponent, Jack Bonza. For those of you that haven't seen me and don't understand my style, you're in for a treat. Because unfortunately for you, Jack Bonza, I hear you're a very unlikable guy, and I take great pleasure in making great pain, and that pain is coming at your expense this Saturday night. Be there live or order the event on PWA Play on demand.
This is Damian Slater, and I have my invite to enter the PWA Colosseum this Saturday night. A one-of-a-kind invite-only tournament featuring 8 of the very best grapplers from around this country. And you want to talk about stacking that first round? My first round opponent is none other than Mick Moretti. The world beater will battle the rapscallion. 2 of the very best Australia's ever seen in one ring. But I think the differences between us are a little bit more obvious than that. Mick likes to spend his days throwing around fancy hashtags like a teenage girl's Instagram page. But me, I've already been noticed. And you know what? I've already conquered. So this Saturday night, I'll go one further and I will embarrass. So Michael, I hope you pack your floaties. This Saturday night at PWA Colosseum, you're going to be swimming in the deep end. And you're going to be swimming with one of the most dangerous sharks that Australia, that the world has ever seen.
Colosseum, a tournament by PWA Australia designed to bring together the best. And how fitting that my first round is against Damian Slater, considered among the best of the best. But what people seem to be disregarding, for whatever reason, is that I am the best. The rapscallion is the best. And well, I guess I'm just gonna have to start proving it. And it all starts this Saturday with the world beater, Damian Slater.
Hold 1! Arm drag! You're not good at this. Get out. Let me tell you a personal story about Vince McMahon. You just made the list. Oh my God!
So, no speak English.
Dummy. Goodbye and good night. Hold 2! Arm bar!
This is the worst town I've ever been in.
It's still real to me, damn it!
Dummy. Hold 3! The moss covered 3-handle family granunzo.